Hey guys, so for today's video, I wanted to chat about some products that I don't really like, but that I also am not planning on decluttering. I just thought this would be a fun conversation to have about where we draw the line in terms of what gets decluttered and what gets to stay in our collection, even if it's not our favorite. A lot of these products are things that either they can't really be decluttered or passed on to someone else, or even though I don't love them, I've found a way to make them work, and it's not like they're the worst product in the world, so I kind of just decided I might as well keep this and just use it up or use it because it's still serving a purpose in my collection, even though I kind of also don't like or recommend the product. I'm also going to be applying the products to my face, sort of get ready with me style. I have already applied foundation because that's not one of the products that we're talking about in this video, but I'm wearing the Ilia Skin Tint today on top of the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer. The first product I wanted to talk about is this concealer. This is the LA Girl Pro Conceal. And this is definitely not my favorite concealer. I can't even quite pinpoint what it is about this that I don't like, but this is one of those products where I don't really like it on its own, but I have found a way to make it work that I do actually really like, so I figure I spent my money on this. I mean, my $5 is not an expensive product, but I spent my money on it, so I'm gonna just keep it and probably pan it at some point. The way that I found I actually do enjoy using this is when I wear it alongside the Sigma color corrector. I swear, this color corrector makes any concealer look amazing on my under eyes. So I usually will just kind of grab a mix of both shades and tap that on my under eye, and I'm not gonna fully blend this out because I'm gonna sort of blend this out at the same time that I blend out the concealer, but I just like to tap that on my under eye. And the thing I like the most about this color corrector is that it's so thin and lightweight that I don't feel like I'm adding a thick layer of something. A lot of the time I feel like when I'm wearing a color corrector and a concealer together, it's almost like too much. There's just too many layers under my eyes, but this is so lightweight. So after I've applied that, one thing I don't love about this concealer is the shade is like a little bit too light for my under eyes, but because that color corrector that I used is a pretty close skin tone match to me, and the deeper shade is a little bit deeper than my skin tone, it not only helps to correct my dark circles, but it also adjusts the shade of the concealer a little bit to where it matches my under eyes much better. The other thing I don't love about this concealer is that it's just not very hydrating. I tend to prefer a little bit more of a hydrating formula, something like the Kosas Revealer Concealer or like the NYX Bear With Me Serum Concealer. This is just a little bit dry for my taste, but this color corrector does feel very moisturizing to my under eyes, so worn together, I actually think that my under eyes look really nice. I went ahead and applied my cream bronzer and blush. I'm wearing kind of a cocktail of things, but I'm wearing the Oma Contour Stick here on my hollows of my cheeks, and then I'm wearing the LYS Cream Bronzer Stick on the forehead. And then for blush, I'm wearing a mix of Project Pan things. So I'm wearing my Franken Cream Blush that I made. I'll link the short where I made this, but it has my CoverGirl lipstick mixed with some of my Oma highlighter stick. And then on the outer part of my cheeks, I'm also wearing some of this Urban Decay lip liner in Manic. But I also wanted to show, regarding this LA Girl concealer, something else I like to do. Sometimes I feel like in between the steps of applying concealer and then applying my cream cheek products before I set my under eyes, I feel like some of the coverage gets lost on my under eyes. So sometimes I'll do almost like a sandwich method with this color corrector, not just with this concealer, but with really any concealer. Right before I set my under eyes, I need to tap out the creases anyway before I set them. So sometimes I'll just grab a little bit of this corrector and just tap it on my under eye. It just kind of boosts the coverage a little bit. And like I said, because this is a pretty thin, lightweight formula, you don't really have to worry about applying too much or caking it on because it just really melts into the skin very nicely. That, I feel like, is the perfect under eye combo right there. And really it's really a shout out to this color corrector. I feel like this color corrector makes any concealer look better. Not only does it boost the coverage and cancel out the darkness on my under eyes, but it also, I don't know, it has like a really beautiful hydrated glow to my under eyes. You can kind of see there. They just look really good. So really, it's all thanks to this product that I'm able to make this concealer work. Now, I'm not saying you should go out and spend, $30 on a color corrector just to make a $5 concealer work. I guess the takeaway here is that if you have any concealers that you don't like on their own, try mixing and matching with other products, whether it's a color corrector or even just another concealer. You might find that you don't like it on its own, but maybe you do like it when it's mixed with another concealer. All right, so next up we have a couple of eyeshadow products that I'm keeping in my collection, but I also don't really like them. So this first one is from JCat. This is the Rockin' the Night Sparkling Powder. So this is a loose eyeshadow, and this was very inexpensive. I think this was like $1 or $2 on Ulta. And at the time I was like, wow, what a steal. But then when I got it, I was like, okay, now I can see why this is $1. Check this out. This is the packaging. So it comes in this little bottle, and I thought it would probably have like a little shaker on top or something. No, it's just a wide open bottle. Like, you can just pour this out. I was curious to try something from JCat, and the shades that they had of this looked really pretty. Like, they had so many beautiful shades, and I thought, wow, that looks like it might make a really good one and done eyeshadow. So I found the packaging a little annoying, but the reason why I haven't gotten rid of this is because this is actually a beautiful eyeshadow. It's just in really annoying packaging. And also, I don't really have any other eyeshadows quite like this color. So that's why I have kept it around. I haven't decluttered it. But here's how I like to use it. So I find that applying loose shadows is best when you use it with a wet brush. So I have here this is like a flat concealer brush. And what I like to do is just spray that brush with some setting spray or just some water, whatever. Doesn't have to be setting spray, but just wet the brush, and then I will literally just dip my brush directly into the powder, and then I will kind of just paint it on to my eyes. And look at how pretty this is. So I'll kind of just take it all across the lid, and then I'll just take a blending brush with nothing on it and just kind of blend it out, and it makes a gorgeous one shadow look. Maybe I could even find like some other kind of container with a sifter to decant this into, or even better, maybe I could try pressing it into an eyeshadow pan. I think because it's a loose powder, I would need some kind of like binder in there. I think you can use vegetable glycerin if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna have to like look into that, but I don't know. I just feel like I don't want to get rid of this because it is such a beautiful product, and I don't know, I just don't really want to declutter it. I feel like the person I would declutter it to would have the same issues with it as I do, so, I might as well just keep it. So there's that eyeshadow. Isn't that pretty? Like, what a pretty one shadow look. It's like a brown to green duochrome, and a lot of times I don't love like olivey shades like this on my eyes, but I think this is so pretty. Like, it looks like I'm wearing more than just one shade on my eyes right now. So that's why I haven't been able to bring myself to get rid of this. I might need to find some kind of solution to this packaging, and I definitely won't buy any more of these unless you just don't mind really annoying packaging that could potentially make a mess. I wouldn't recommend this, but because I have it, I bought it, I feel like I might as well keep it and put up with the annoying packaging because I do really like the way it looks once it's on my eyes. So I don't know, I definitely feel like once I've bought something, I sort of feel this sense of responsibility to figure out a way to use it even if I don't like it, because I'm like, well, I bought it, so I want to make it work. I'm stubborn like that. But I mean, I'm definitely not one to hate pan things, and I do declutter things when it's necessary, but I would prefer to make something work for me instead of just passing it off to someone else. So the other eyeshadow product, I guess I won't try on today because it doesn't really go with this eyeshadow, but I don't really care for this. This is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Stick in the shade Fishbowl. This is something that I got in a PR package from them a while ago, and I kept it because I don't always keep PR because, you know, sometimes it's just something that I feel like I don't really need. I might as well just pass it off while it's brand new. But this I decided to keep because I hadn't tried this eyeshadow stick formula before, and I didn't have any colors quite like this, so I kept it. But honestly, I don't think this is as good as like the e.l.f. No Budge eyeshadow sticks, or even I've been trying recently the hard candy eyeshadow sticks. These are similar to the e.l.f. ones. I don't think this is as good as those drugstore ones. I feel like this in comparison just is kind of dry, and there was one time I tried to use this as just a one shadow look, like just a matte blue all over the lid, which would be really pretty, but this just looked very dry and chalky on my eyelids, so I don't like using this all over the lid as an actual eyeshadow, but I like the color so much that that's the reason why I've kept it around, is just because I think it's such a cute, fun, bright color, and I do enjoy wearing this just in the inner corner of my eye for a little pop of blue, or as an eyeliner. I like to just pick some up on an angled liner brush and do a winged liner with it. I really like the way that looks, especially with peachy eyeshadows. Last spring and summer, I was going through a phase where I was using this a ton, even though I don't love the formula. Also, look at this. A long time ago, you can see where it broke there on the stick, because it's just kind of a crumbly, I don't know, it's like creamy and crumbly at the same time. So like it's almost too soft. So it broke there and I just kind of smushed it back down. But I don't know, I just feel like that shouldn't be happening with a high-end eyeshadow crayon. I definitely wouldn't recommend this formula, especially when e.l.f. makes an amazing $5 eyeshadow stick, and they make a ton of fun, bright colors too. But I've just kept it because, you know, it already exists. I've already opened it and used it, and I might as well just keep it because I do enjoy using it sometimes, even though it's not a formula that I think is that great or that I would recommend that you guys go out and buy. But it does lock into place, like once it dries down, it doesn't move. So it is nice in that sense, but I just don't think it's worth the price. Okay, so this next product is one that I've been complaining about ever since I bought it, but here I am still using it, still refusing to get rid of it. This is the Essence 24 Ever Ink Liner in Intense Black. So really what I don't like about this is just the shape of the brush tip. Or it's actually not a brush tip, it's a felt tip. And this is totally just a personal preference, like maybe I'm just super picky, I'm not sure, but I really don't like how short that felt tip is. I just find it hard to work with, and I also just don't like how this like plastic lip kind of juts out so far from the tip that it kind of gets in the way. I think I prefer just like a longer and more flexible tip, but for some reason whenever I use this, I have to be so careful to get like a straight line, and often my eyeliner ends up kind of bumpy, so you'll see. I typically like to draw the wing. I feel like I made that too straight out, but then I'll just fill in from there. But like, do you see how my line is ending up so bumpy? Maybe I should just get rid of this, I don't know. But it does have some redeeming qualities. So I do like how just, you can see it is an intense black line, very opaque, very black, and it stays in place really well. It never smudges, it never like smears or anything, so that's the reason why I just put up with it, because also with eyeliners aren't really something that you can just give to someone else. You shouldn't really share eyeliners, anything that you're putting this close to your lash line. Once you've used it, it's yours. It's either yours or it goes in the trash, and I just hate to throw something in the trash if it works and like I'm able to use it. When this does run out, I will be happy to buy a new one because it is kind of annoying to work with. Also, the cap doesn't really snap on very well. It comes off really easily. So that's not really a problem for me because I just keep it either in my drawer or in my like eyeliner cup. So the lid doesn't come off. But I would imagine if you're keeping this in a makeup bag or something, that lid is going to pop off so easily. So definitely not something I would recommend. So what I'll do is I'll just take a black eyeshadow, whatever I have nearby. Right now it's the e.l.f. Earth and Ocean palette. I'll just take some of that black shade and go over the liner with that. and it just smooths out the line, and I can sort of like just correct any mistakes just by filling in the line, and then I can get like a nice crisp wing with it. So, okay, eyeliner is on. They're not perfect, but usually when I apply mascara, it just kind of obscures any unevenness of the eyeliner. So speaking of mascara, this is the Rimmel Scandalized Mascara, and this isn't horrible, but I also don't love it. It is definitely lengthening, but it doesn't have the volume that I was hoping for, that I really look for in a mascara. So I don't love it, but it's kind of the same story as with the eyeliner. It's not like I could declutter this and give it to someone else because I've already used it. So because of that, I'm just going to keep using this until it needs to be replaced. Really, for me, I very rarely declutter mascaras unless they're like awful or they like, you know, sting my eyes or something bad. But if it's just because the formula is kind of mediocre, or even if the formula like smudges on me, normally I will just go ahead and keep using it. I just feel like there are so many better formulas out there that this is really not something I would recommend. I feel like now that I'm putting it on, it actually looks pretty good. And that's the thing. I mean, sometimes I do like the way my lashes look with this, but it's just kind of, I don't know. Look at that. All of a sudden it looks amazing. Of course, for this video, it looks good. Most of the time I feel like it does lengthen my lashes, but it doesn't really give me any sort of volume. But with that being said, I do feel like mascara is one of those things that sometimes if you wait a little while or even a couple months, the formula will actually kind of dry out and almost improve over time. That also happened to me with the last mascara I was using, the Essence Bye Bye Panda Eyes. That one I have already retired because it had gotten old, but that mascara I really didn't like for like a good 3 months, and then after like 3 or 4 months it started to look really good on my lashes. So sometimes it's just a matter of time. This one I just find it kind of underwhelming. There's nothing horrible about it, so it's just one of those things that I feel like I might as well just use it since it's not awful. But you will not hear me recommending this mascara. I just don't think it's that good. And also the brush is so big. I'm kind of over giant brushes like this. Like, why does it need to be so big? I'm constantly getting, like you can see, I've gotten little specks all over my eyelids, and that happens every time I use this. So then I have to go in and like flake it off with a spoolie, which to be fair, that happens to me with most mascaras because I'm just clumsy, but this one especially, it's just almost impossible not to make a mess with this gigantic brush. Speaking of Rimmel, I think this is the last product that I wanted to share today. But this is the Rimmel Stay Glossy Lip Gloss in the shade Bare Minimum. Really pretty pink color. I like this gloss, except for I don't love the smell. For some reason it smells like baby wipes. Like really, like you just opened up a brand new pack of baby wipes. Whoa, that is what this smells like. Who chose that smell for this lip gloss? Like there are so many other scents you could do that would not be bothersome, but I don't know. There's something about the baby wipe smell that I don't love. The thing is though, it's not like such an offensive scent that I like can't use it. It doesn't bother me that much, but it's just kind of off-putting. But I'm gonna put this on today over my favorite lip liner. This is the Kokie lip liner in Nude. So you can see there, it looks nice. This is definitely like my go-to shade of lip gloss. Most of the time when I'm going for lip gloss, it's this kind of like nude pink shade. So I like the color and everything. I really don't mind anything else about it other than the scent. The scent is what kind of bothers me, but to me that's not enough of a reason to get rid of it, because once I have it on, I'm not really noticing the scent. It's more just, I kind of notice it when I open it up and as I apply it, it's kind of strong, but after that, it's not like I'm smelling it constantly. So now that I have it, I've already used it, I feel like I might as well just keep it and use it up. Glosses are also pretty quick for me to pan generally, so I don't really mind just keeping it and using it. So there's my partial face, not quite full face, of products that I don't love, but that I'm also not going to get rid of, at least not anytime soon. Maybe one day I will decide to declutter these, who knows, but I don't know, I think there's kind of a fine line. I definitely don't like to hate pan products. I don't want to advocate for that because, you know, what's the point of forcing yourself to use something that you actively hate? But at the same time, sometimes there are products that maybe you don't love, you wouldn't recommend them to a friend, but you bought them and they're not so awful that you want to get rid of them. Let me know in the comments, how do you decide what gets decluttered? Because sometimes it can be hard to figure out, at least if you're like me and you overanalyze everything. But anyway, I hope you guys had fun today. Thank you for hanging out. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Would love to have you back soon. I do also have a Patreon and a channel membership if you'd like to support my channel further. But otherwise, I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you again very soon in my next video. Bye.